Hello everyone, let's see odontogenic keratocyst in a simplified way. Now, this was termed by Philipson in 1956. This odontogenic keratocyst or OKC shows its origin either from dental lamina remnants or from extension of basal cells of overlying epithelium. What does this mean? This means that this oral epithelium can have this basal shoot-offs and this can lead to formation of OKC. Now, it has a very particular history. In 1967, this was suggested that it should be regarded as a benign neoplasm due to its clinical behavior. And in 2005, the parakeratinized variant was reclassified by WHO and it was named as KCOT, that is keratocystic odontogenic tumor. But in 2017, WHO reclassified it as a cyst. Now, why this reclassification? Because it is a very unique lesion. Why? It has a potential to behave very aggressively. Then it has a very high recurrence rate up to 30 to 60%, which is very high for a cyst. Then it has a very characteristic histology. The proliferation kinetics are also not as a normal cyst. It shows clonal loss of heterozygosity of tumor suppressor gene, which is PTCH gene. So it is a typical sign of a tumor. And its growth is also not like normal cyst. Normal cyst grows due to increase in osmotic pressure, but this increases in growth due to enzymatic activity in fibrous wall, and its growth is inherent in its epithelium. It shows presence of daughter cysts, and mitotic activity is increased even in the suprabasilar layers. So these features make this OKC as a unique lesion. Now let's see if we want to describe OKC in a gist, what we will say. It is a cyst which is derived from remnants of dental lamina with biological behavior similar to benign neoplasm. It has a distinctive lining of 6 to 10 cells in thickness and exhibits basal cell layer of palisaded cells and a surface of corrugated parakeratin. These features will be appreciated in histopathology. Let's see clinical features for now. It can be seen in any age, but the peak is second to third decade. It is more common in males. It is more common in mandible. And in mandible, it is most common in third molar area, then in first and second molar, and then in anterior mandible. 50% of cases are seen in angle of mandible. In maxilla, third molar area is most commonly affected, and then the cuspids. Small OKCs are usually asymptomatic and they are discovered by routine radiograph. Why? Because small OKC do not show any obvious bony expansion. Why? Because it grows in an anterior-posterior direction. Whereas large OKC may show soft tissue swelling, pain, drainage, and neurological features such as paresthesia of lips. Then there is a syndrome associated with multiple OKCs, that is the nevoid basal cell carcinoma syndrome, also known as Gordon-Gold syndrome. Now let's see radiological features. These radiological features can present as either a unilocular radiolucency or a multilocular radiolucency. Now if there's a unilocular radiolucency, it will be well defined, peripheral rim will be present, scalloping border will be present, which shows the variation in the growth pattern of the cyst. Now, if there is a multilocular radiolucency, it represents a central cavity having satellite cyst, and this multilocular radiolucency is usually seen in larger cysts. Occasionally, OKC can mimic dentigerous cyst, which contains crown of retained tooth within its lumen. Then this can cause displacement of adjacent teeth. That is, these are the teeth, for example, and this cyst will show displacement of these two teeth. So displacement of adjacent teeth, it is more common than the root resorption of the teeth. Now let's see histopathology. It is very, very important. Now it shows a thin uniform lining of parakeratinized stratified squamous epithelium. So there is parakeratinized epithelium which is 6 to 10 cells thick. Then it shows corrugated parakeratin. Corrugated means folded on the luminal surface. Then there is cuboidal to columnar prominent palisaded cells. So this characteristic appearance is called as picket fence appearance or tombstone appearance. So we can see this is the basement membrane and these are the cells. So this nuclei is at a particular level, that is, it is away from the basement membrane at one level. So this looks like a row, that is, this looks like a palisaded basal layer of cells. So this is called as picket fence appearance. Then there is lack of retipex. We can see there is no presence of retipex. So epithelium often slows from the connective tissue. What happens because of this lack of retipex? It is difficult to remove the cyst fully. That is, there will be some remnants left even if we do a surgical excision. Then mitotic activity is very high, as we have already seen. It shows a fibrous capsule, loose fibrillar, free of inflammation. If this cyst is secondarily infected, then we will be able to see inflammation. Then the connective tissue shows a very characteristic feature, that is odontogenic islands and satellite cyst and daughter cyst. After surgery, these daughter cysts may remain and may cause high recurrence. Then there's lumen. Lumen shows thin straw colored fluid or thick creamy material. It can have a high keratin or very little keratin. So depending, it can have a lot of keratin or very little keratin. So now let's see. This is a picket fence appearance of the basilar layer. We can see the nuclei at one level from the basement membrane. Then we can see there is a lumen. We can see this parakeratinized area, that is this layer has a pycnotic nuclei. This is 6 to 10 cell layer thick. This is the presence of odontogenic islands. Here we can see daughter cyst. So this daughter cyst can be left behind and can lead to recurrence of this cyst. And we can appreciate that there are no retipex present. Here we can see this line. This is showing that there is separation of the lining epithelium. Now moving on to the treatment. There are many reasons for the increased recurrence. The recurrence is 30 to 60%. Why? The main three reasons are: first, incomplete removal of epithelial lining. Second, there can be retention of daughter cyst or odontogenic islands. And third, new ocases can form from the epithelial shoot-offs, which we saw what is its origin, that the epithelium can show basal shoot-off and this will lead to OKC. There can be other small reasons like bony perforations, and new cysts can directly form from dental lamina. Then treatment should be completely removed, plus there should be vigorous follow-up so that there is reduced recurrence rate. There can be many treatment options. We can do enucleation with or without curettage, enucleation with chemical cauterization, that is with Carnoy solution. It will kill the epithelial remnants. Then enucleation and the plus peripheral ostectomy, enucleation and cryotherapy, marsupialization plus cystectomy, resection, or we can do combination of enucleation, Carnoy solution, peripheral or ostectomy. This was OKC. If you found this video helpful, do like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.